just say affordable housing is a very important thing to the city of Baltimore. And as I said early on in my administration, that we would make sure that affordable housing opportunities are available in our city. For those of you who don't know, almost 20% of every housing structure that's built in Baltimore City that uses city funds requires affordable housing. In fact, there's a story that I'd like to share with you all of a gentleman who laid on our streets for over 10 years. Many of you probably saw him on Martin Luther King Boulevard. And for 10 years he laid there. In fact, someone set him afire one day, laying on Martin Luther King Boulevard. He ended up at University of Maryland Medical Systems to be treated. What has ensued is that he is one of the first occupants of our new development right there at Liberty Heights and Reisterstown Road, the new affordable housing structure that we just built. We must, and I've said this to developers and others, we must make sure that we're accommodating housing for everyone who wants and lives in this city. Whether they are today homeless or someone who is wealthy or middle income, we want to make sure that we have the housing stock available for all people. We made a focused effort to make sure that we move folks from homelessness to housing. And I want to take a moment to thank Odette Ramos, who's standing behind me, and all of the advocates for housing in our neighborhood to make sure that we have affordable housing, that we were able to create this housing trust fund. I want to thank John Bullock, the sponsor of the legislation, but I also want to thank the president of the city council for being a real leader in terms of how we move this kind of legislation forward. Because this also, along with the Neighborhood Investment Impact Fund, will make a difference in how we build housing in the city moving forward. For those of you who also don't know, besides this $20 million Affordable Housing Trust Fund, with the help of the president, we've also created another $52 million fund, because he knows, as I know, and our comptroller, that when we first came into office, there was a deal on the desk to sell off garages in our city, because people know that the city needs capital. And instead of selling off those garages like we did in 1972 when we sold off our airport for $36 million, can you imagine if we owned it today or had leased it, what that would mean to Baltimore City, similar to what Atlanta's airport means to Atlanta. So we decided that we wouldn't do this. And in conversations with our president, comptrollers, and others, we decided that we would keep those garages, but we would lease them. In leasing those garages, we were able to raise some $57 million. We actually raised close to $80 million because we paid off the debt on those garages. $52 million went immediately into a fund to invest in neighborhoods and communities like Park Heights, like Sandtown, like East Baltimore, that we believe that we can transform during our period here in office. And so we're excited. We're excited today about this Affordable Housing Trust Fund for neighborhoods that have been neglected for decades. Without question, this is a path to lifting most of our city residents. Again, thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Odette, for your leadership. Thank you, Mr. Bullock. And always thank you, Comptroller, for working with us to assure that the citizens in Baltimore are accommodated. Mr. President, I don't know whether you want to say anything before we sign this legislation.
The only thing I would say is, Madam Mayor, I want to thank you for your commitment. And I personally want to thank Chairman Bullock, who did a yeoman's job in getting this legislation through the council. I want to thank all of the council members that supported it. But more importantly, I want to thank the advocates, and also want to thank the building community. You know, they really stuck with us on this bill. They really understood that we had to do this. It wasn't something that we could not do, because affordable housing is very important to the citizens of Baltimore. And as we look at affordable housing, I'm going to encourage the advocates to look even a little further, because as housing become affordable and development happens in those communities, around those communities, we can have the effect of gentrification without really trying to gentrify our city. So I will be working with the mayor and our state representatives to see if we can come up with some kind of law to freeze the property taxes of those who have stuck through these communities through thick and thin until such time that they die or pass the property on or sell them, because we can have gentrification without really, without really forcing it. It can be a reverse gentrification. So we have to make sure that we look at that as well. That's for the advocates to work with us to see if we can get some laws to strengthen and keep people in their neighborhoods who have been here through all of the crime and all of the murders and all of the shootings that preceded this administration. We want to have a clean, safe, and healthy city, and we want those who have been here and did not flee the city to also enjoy the benefits as we move forward to make Baltimore the city where people want to live, not where they feel trapped and cannot escape, but where they want to live. And I want to commend you, Mayor Pugh, for your vision. If I could just digest just a few minutes. We were at a school, 21st century school, and the mayor and her housing commissioner, they told them, we want these houses, these vacant houses, we want them fixed up and have them for home ownership for the parents of the students that go to that school. This is stuff that don't get out into the news. People don't see the good things and the great things that this mayor is doing because she's like me, I don't go toot my horn. But she has done a great job, and those houses are up for sale with, I think, the price of the mortgage is under $700
Yes.
a month. A really fantastic, I think it was 5 or 6 of those houses. So these are the things that the mayor's trying to do in terms of affordable housing, and I'm a partner along with the comptroller and the council in these efforts. So again, I just want to congratulate our chair of the Housing and Urban Affairs Committee, Chairman Bullock, for his great leadership.
A word, and let me say too, we've got a whole new Affordable Housing Trust Fund board. Congratulations. We look forward to swearing all of you all in, but more importantly, we look forward to your work in the future. Did you want to say a few words?
Sure, really quickly. It's just a wonderful time. I want to thank everyone who played a part in this process. At the beginning of this journey, some said it was not the right time, but also thinking about where we are now, it's the perfect time for the signing of this bill because it's really a gift in this holiday season. You look around and I think about some of the terms we've talked about, housing as a human right, united, not blighted, and that unity is visible right in this room. You see people from different parts of the city, you see different races, different ethnic backgrounds, because you all recognize that affordable housing is key within our city. And even to echo some of the things that both the mayor and the council president have mentioned, we can have development without displacement. We can make sure that our communities are able to thrive for everyone in Baltimore City. So I thank everyone who has been a part of this process. I thank the mayor for her work and with her team. I thank the council president and all of my colleagues who unanimously supported this. But most importantly, the advocates, those folks who have been fighting in the trenches for years for an issue that is so important to our city. So thank you for this opportunity. I'm very excited and encouraged by this moment today.
We see it. Ms. Ramos, would you like to say a few words?
Sure.
Not only did we see it, we feel it.
Right, exactly. Madam Mayor, thank you so much for your leadership on this issue. Council President Young and Councilman Bullock and the City Council, we're thrilled at this moment. I can't tell you how important this is for our city. On any given night, 3,000 people are in the streets, lying in the streets, sleeping in the streets, a lot of them children. Many people are struggling to pay their rent. And if they're paying more than 30% of their income on rent, that is not affordable. So this moment is important because it shows that Baltimore City is clear this is a priority. So I want to thank all of you for your leadership on this. I'm also honored to have been chosen by the advocates to thank all of you on this. The advocates, we came together because we all felt like it was very important, that this was very important. From collecting signatures for the ballot initiative to passing the ballot initiative to working on the final stages of the funding source. We worked together, we fought like family, but we got it done. And so I just want to thank all of you who had been, all of the advocates, United Workers, Public Justice Center, Community Development, so many that have come together to do this. And the fact that the voters voted on the initiative, 83% of the vote, that is a big deal. So we're certainly fulfilling the will of the voters. And then also to the development community. This investment in this fund is extremely important because it will improve not just the lives of people who need it, but the entire city, and that's all of our goal. So we're very, very excited about it. Again, thank you, Madam Mayor, Council President Young, Councilman Bullock, City Council, everybody. This is a big moment, but we're not going to stop, right? I mean, once the money comes in, we got to get it out, and we've got to make it work. And so the commission is going to help with that. The Housing for All Coalition will stay together so that it's done in the way that we had originally envisioned. So again, thank you very much.
So again, let me just finally say thank you to everyone. This is a great coming together and collaboration, and that's how we move our city forward. It's collaborating, it's listening, it's hearing one another, and understanding the needs of our city. And so with that,
Thank you.